Constipation. Now I'm sure you're all thinking, great, now I have to listen to a high schooler talk about poop. Well, let me tell you, there's no one who'd rather be doing something else than me. I'd rather be reading or riding a roller coaster or pretty much anything. But we can't all have what we want, so let's jump right in. Constipation primarily affects older people or people with diabetes. Women are slightly more likely to get it than men, and pregnant women are especially susceptible. The conditions of hyperparathyroidism and hypothyroidism also make one more likely to be constipated. Hyperparathyroidism is when one or more of your 4 parathyroid glands in your neck produce more of the parathyroid hormone than they should. Hypothyroidism is when your thyroid gland, also in your neck, doesn't make enough of its important hormones, and certain functions like fertility and working joints slowly become less active. This condition tends to happen in women over 60. Symptoms of constipation include infrequent bowel movements, small hard stool, and difficulty moving the bowels. In simple English, this means if you poop less than 3 times a week, your poops are smaller and harder than they should be, and you have trouble pooping, you're probably constipated. Constipation is a common problem, but when it becomes chronic or lasts more than 3 months, calling a doctor is advisable. Constipation tends to happen in the later stages of one's life. If you've loaded up on dairy and not had much fiber for the past few months, you might also be susceptible. Constipation does not happen in a measured amount of time after a specific action, so you can't predict when or if it will happen with absolute certainty. Where? Constipation takes place in the large intestine, also known as the colon or bowels. This is where food goes once the nutrients have been extracted. The large intestine is also responsible for absorbing water from our food. It is located in the lower abdomen. The causes of constipation include a low-fiber diet, dairy products, and more directly, a blockage in the colon or rectum. Certain drugs, such as sedatives, narcotics, and antidepressants, can also cause constipation. When coupled with certain pre-existing conditions, the effect of these actions can be magnified. Constipation happens because the colon absorbs too much water from the feces passing through it. This can happen because the muscles are contracting slowly or contracting badly in some other way. It can also be self-induced if you purposely hold in your poop, because the dehydration that happens in the colon is a slow process, but it never turns off. A few things you can do to alleviate constipation are drinking a lot of water, eating more fiber, and taking laxatives. Of these 3, the latter has more immediate results, but may be unhealthy in the long term and can be addictive. Another thing you can do to relieve constipation is exercise. Simply getting up and moving around can relieve constipation, but some specific exercises that may help are running, swimming, dancing, stretching, and simply prolonged walking are all exercises that can help with constipation. So that's the end of my talk on constipation. I sure hope this has been 15 minutes because I don't have much material left. Constipation may not be usually medically very serious, but it can be painful, and statistics don't really make you feel better when you've been sitting on the toilet for 2 hours. To finish on a high note, you don't have to listen to me talk about constipation anymore. Yay.
Okay.